All right, we're back in this Feel Good Friday. Fortunately, my technical difficulties all worked out. I can't believe my feed went down for that workout. C-Mac, I did catch the end, though. Are you okay? I was ready to, like I had dialed 9-1 and had my finger over that second one.
Oh, I was off to a great start, and then the wheels came off.
I'll say. Okay, many of us are looking, of course, to create change to our health and wellness during this pandemic, but sometimes the hardest part is taking those first steps.
Here to help us create a wellness regime that will keep us motivated is health and fitness expert Sonia Jhas. And Sonia, technology can be helpful when we are trying to stay healthy and well, but it can also be a burden. What advice do you have for navigating that space?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit tricky. You know, we feel like in this day and age, we really have to gravitate towards technology because it's the cool thing to do. But sometimes technology can actually be really stressful. It can create sort of like factors that make the whole process feel more overwhelming than it really needs to. And I think the first thing you really need to do is ask yourself, like, who are you and what process is really going to feel aligned with what feels like kind and natural for what comes easily to you. There are a lot of apps out there that can be really productive and functional, though, when it comes to working out or whether it comes to, managing food or even things in the sort of mindfulness space, when it comes to self-care. MyFitnessPal is one of the best apps that you can use when it comes to sort of tracking your food and understanding calories. The Sweat app is a great way to just understand, what are some at-home workouts that you can do that you can easily follow along. And simple tools like Calm and Headspace can really allow you to factor in that self-care that can really help balance your hormones, sort of bring down those cortisol levels because we're all super stressed out right now, let's face it, and just allow you to just kind of make it more of a priority on a daily basis. But again, if engaging with these apps on your phone feels stressful or it feels like you're not able to keep up or there's too many variables in the mix, then technology isn't the only way that you need to go.
All right, it can be hard to find a program, though, or a plan that is right for you to really customize it. So how can you make sure that you're picking a plan that is going to work for you, Sonia?
I think the most important question you can ask yourself is this something I'll enjoy? One of the things that I've found, especially during this phase where we're all stuck at home, is that, in the beginning, especially of the pandemic, people had decided they were going to become runners because running was the thing to do. And now is the time to become a runner. And a few weeks in, everyone was sort of dropping off the wagon. And when they really dug into it, and I was sort of probing some of my clients, I was like, do you even like running? And they were like, actually, no, I kind of hate running. And so I think the biggest thing is if you're going to take on, whether it's cardio or strength training or yoga or Pilates or any sort of physical activity, the best thing you can do is find something that you don't hate because it needs to be enjoyable in order to be sustainable. Of course, for any program, I would recommend that there's a strength training component, even if you're just doing body resistance training, because that's the easiest way to elevate your metabolism and keep those calories burning, even when you're watching Netflix. And then, a little bit of cardio always goes a long way for heart conditioning and some stretching so that you don't feel jammed up. But really, bottom line is, do something you don't hate.
Good advice, really good advice. How do we do it safely? When we do figure out what we want to do and we're doing it at home, or we're going to start to do it at home, how do we do it safely?
I mean, I think it's really easy for all of us to just get excited about the fact that it's like the new me and I'm doing it now and I figured out something that I like, and we sort of just jump headfirst into it. But as with most things, we often have to do a little bit of research, right? Like, we're not experts in everything. And I think health and wellness is one of those places where we get a little bit too excited without doing some of the groundwork first. We use Google and the internet for everything else, but it seems like we tend to shy away from actually researching things like form and technique and using some YouTube tutorials that exist to actually see, like, how do I do these moves not only safely, which is of course the priority, but also in a way that I'm really going to get the most bang for my buck out of it. Because when you're really able to do moves correctly and you connect your mind to your muscles, you really get a lot more value out of the work that you're putting in. And so I would recommend, this is where technology can come in, use the technology to get better equipped so that you do things in a way that really is efficient but also safe.
All right, just finally, Sonia, how can we stay motivated?
I mean, motivation is the hardest thing, right? Because expecting us to be even keel all the time is just totally unrealistic. There's spouses in the mix and kids in the mix and the weather and work. I mean, everything is coming at us in particular right now. And I think, expecting you to feel steadfast in this health and wellness space is unrealistic. So first and foremost, accept that it's not going to be linear. You are going to have better days and you are going to have worse days, and that's what makes you human. It's expected. Even if you're a health and wellness expert, we all go through it. And so understanding what do you need specifically to keep you feeling accountable and committed is really the way to go. Motivation may waver, but how do you show up anyway is the question. And one of the biggest things I've found is if you can find an accountability partner to be on the journey with you, somebody that you can check in with once a week or text whenever you're like, I don't want to do it, or anything that doesn't necessarily involve having to work out together, although that's an option too. I think that's the best way to make sure that you're sort of on track and you keep showing up even when you want to, because I think we as human beings are not meant to do this completely in isolation by ourselves. We struggle when we do it that way, and I feel like it's time to get other people on board.
All right, Sonia, great tips as always. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.